Hi guys, and welcome to another episode in my map guide series. Last time we went over Watchpoint Gibraltar, and today we will be doing Numbani. Numbani is one of my favorite maps. The first thing to notice about Numbani is that the spawns are equals lengths away, equals distance from the capture point for both attackers and defense, which means that if you get a one-on-one trade, DPS for DPS, they will both get back to the fight at roughly the same time, varying abilities like sprint or blink or dash, etc. So let's start on defense and let's talk about where do we want to hold. Well, before we decide where to hold, we need to see where is the offense coming from. So they can be on the street, they can jump up top, they can come through the stairs, they can go bottom, or even far right on the outside. So wherever we set up, we have to have all of these 5 directions in mind. So where do we set up that it will be most advantageous for us to take a fight? Well, naturally, we like to set up at the choke, at chokes, right? So this is this would be a good spot, right? No, probably not, because we would be giving up high ground advantage if they go top, and if they go bottom, they'd immediately be behind us on the point, and same thing for 5, and that's just bad. So if we go farther back, it's starting to look a little better, but we are still giving up high ground advantage, and at least we have 4 and 5 roughly under control. So what we gotta do is shift our attention upwards and hold top on that side or on this side. Now, where you hold heavily depends on your team comp. Now, if you have a Reinhardt holding on the 2 red side, is probably bad because your Reinhardt is not a long range character. If you have an Orisa, having your shield at 2 is not a bad choice, because you can have a Torbjorn or a Bastion or even just your plain soldier DPS just sitting behind the shield and killing anyone that comes in them. So if you're having a slower, more brawly close-up comp, you want to have them stand at 1. So you have your right shield holding the 3 choke, and you can have someone holding a little bit farther back, like a Zen or a Symmetra. They can watch for as they come out and call that to the team. 5 is pretty easy to take care of because your whole team can see when they're standing at 1. They can see people coming from 5. And then 1 and 2 can be taken care of by your DPS. If they're walking straight into the point from high ground, they can just shoot down into the choke or shoot across to the other high ground. So 1 is a strong position. The only thing with number 1 is that it's really close. So if the enemy has stronger firepower, they might be able to kill you quicker in this up close battle. So if you have a more long range comp where you have like a soldier or a Torbjorn or a Bastion, or Hanzo, those type of heroes that benefit from distance, it's better to hold at number 2. You can put down your Orisa shield, a Torbjorn can put down his turret, a Bastion can set up in his turret form, stuff like that. Now, the good thing about Numbani is that it's such a versatile map that you can pretty much run any tank combo that is viable, like Winston Diva, Orisa Zarya, Rein Zarya, or Orisa Hog, and they'll be effective if played on the right sides. If you have Orisa Hog, you might want to hold on this side at 1, because Hog is a close quarters hero. You know, he wants to get up close to people and get those hooks. While if he's at number 2, he's too far from the enemy and his spam isn't going to be really effective. But if you have Orisa Diva, number 2 becomes a better option because she can fly from the high grounds to help defend. Now, Winston Diva is also a really good comp to hold because if you can just stand on either high ground, and no matter where the enemy goes, you'll be able to jump over accordingly to any section and help defend, right? So playing dive on defense on Numbani is also a really good strategy. You just what defense you pick, you just have to pick based on your team's strengths. Now for offense, you already saw where you flank from. Now the choice is which one do you pick. Now going under at number 4 can be good if the enemy team is all holding high ground. So if they're holding, is everyone on the defense is holding over at 2, then if you have a Lucio, speed boost you through the mega at the bottom, and you come out straight to the point, then hold your shield up, whichever shield that is, or if you even have a shield. Usually teams will panic. Most of the times, the good teams won't panic, and they know that they have the high ground and they'll win the fight. But a lot of solo queue players will panic and see that capture meter going down or up for you, and they don't want to lose the point, right? They're playing the objective, so they will drop down to the point, usually 1 by 1, because they're not making a full team commitment. So when they drop down 1 by 1, that's when you as a team take advantage of it and you push into them and you kill them, causing your team to have already a man advantage 5 on 6, because the Mercy's not going to fall down to the point for that res. She's just going to get herself killed. If you want to go high ground, it's better to have a shield tank that allows you to get through the choke full HP and full team, because if they have a spam comp, going top is a really bad idea. So if they have a Junkrat and a Sim, those heroes, they just spam into doorways and they don't even think about it. Don't go high ground and don't go bottom either, because you'll just get killed as you walk through those little doorways. Now they have spam comp and they're all holding on number 1. Going through streets where it's more open, or jumping up top and taking control of the high ground, or coming all the way outside and also or jumping up top are good options, because spam heroes lose effectiveness the more open the area is, because it allows you to dodge their projectiles. So if you pretty much have to adapt your team comp to what the enemy is running and take care of that high ground first, and once your high ground is secured, capturing the point should be easy, because you can shoot at them from above and they're going to be stuck on the point. Meanwhile, your whole team is surrounding them and you kill them. So you either defend for 4 minutes holding these sections, or your team comes up with the correct strat and kills the defense, and you can push through. You cap the point and you push through. So let's go to the next section. Now, if your whole team on defense gets wiped and you all spawn before they capture the point, you can take an early fight here at this line. You hold this corner, because the offense is going to be coming here, and usually they'll be coming at 6. And this, as you can see, this is a small corridor. And if you have a DPS that can spam set up on the high ground over here, like a Junkrat or Hanzo or even a soldier that can do heavy damage into this defense, you can win this first fight and force them to regroup in spawn, or even just keep wiping them if they keep trickling out into you. This is a really strong position for defense, because you have control of this mini next to you, you have control of this mega bottom right, you have the cover of the statue, you have the cover of the bus, you even have another mega back here if they don't push into you. So you have all this room to operate, while the offense, all they have is the spawn. So this is only a fight you take if your whole team is here. If your team got staggered as the enemy capped, you don't hold here. But if you're on offense and you're getting held at this corner right here, what you have to do is to make sure you're not pushing through here as 6, because you're just going to keep getting killed and spam down. You want to send like an off tank and a DPS to flank around the back and divert their attention. That way you might even get a pick in the back and force them to back off and regroup. Now you push your cart, you get all the way up to the bus, which is where the next fight usually happens, or the first fight if you weren't able to take that early fight. So let's move the camera. Alright, so here, around here, including high ground, is where you want to hold. Sorry for that. This line right here next to the bus gives you sights into every direction the enemy can be coming from. They can, having high ground, you can control this corridor where they flank behind and go top. You can shoot down onto the street, and you also have sights onto the mega at the bottom. So controlling high ground with a DPS and maybe even an off tank to defend them when he gets pushed is really strong for holding this section, because you want to be able to shoot those supports as the enemy tanks push up. Now if you're on offense and you're having a hard time pushing this, the first thing you got to do is take care of anyone who's holding top. You flank them or you jump straight up at them and you kill them. Just make sure you're taking control of the area as you're walking forward, because if you walk forward while they're still up here, your team is just gonna die in the back. You need to be slowly pushing your line of scrimmage, your line of attack where you're fighting forward. You gotta make sure everything behind the line where your card is under your control. All of this should be yours as you push forward. If there's defense attacking your team back here, you need to kill them before you keep moving forward. Now you manage to kill them up top and you push forward. The next section, as a defender, you want to hold is high ground. High ground is extremely important here because, as you can see, the defenders have a lot of the attackers, have a lot of different directions where they can come at you from. They have obviously the street, they have top, they have through the shop on the left, they have the shop in the middle, and they have all the way on the right. They can even flank under this overpass or this bridge at the top. So if you control high ground, you're up here, you have sight lines into all of these directions. You can shoot at anyone that's coming at you. So it's important to have people that can control and hold high ground, not just control it, because if you have a soldier by himself up top, they might send a diva up to him to kill him, and the new diva with her micro missiles can pretty much kill anyone by themselves. So you want to have people that can help your soldier, like your own diva or an Orisa or a Hog that can pull people down, or a Winston that can jump up there as well and help defend. Because if you don't control high ground, those sight lines onto the whole section will be giving onto the offense. And then if you're trying to hold the street, you're trying to hold this line of the street, you can hold this door easy, you can hold this door easy. But if you don't control high ground, the offense can just walk up behind you and shoot you in the back and kill your whole team. So that goes for offense. If you want to capture this section, you have to control high ground. Control high ground and then kill the team down on the street, and you should have a relatively easy time pushing the payload. So we go to the next section after we cap top. Now you'll notice that the geometry and the verticality on the map changes drastically as we get to this last point. every section before has had a lot of high ground, while this last section only really has one viable option for high ground, which is this little platform. But that little platform will determine if you are able to push or defend for the whole duration. Because as you can see, if we draw the line of defense at this corner right here, if you don't control that high ground, they have a free shot onto your defense. Now, you're holding this line, and you have someone holding top. The reason this top favors defense because you have this wall on the left that someone can hide from, and then the healers can heal them up here, allowing you to hold that top section for longer. Because usually you'll have a soldier or a widow or a reaper just go up top and try to get those shots into your back. Now you're holding this line, and the enemy has all these directions to come from. That's from behind the building. So how do you defend that? Well, you hold that line that's drawn right now, and if someone goes around the back of the building, you have to call that out so that your off tank and one of your DPS and even maybe a support can rotate to the back and make sure they meet them and kill them. Since they're alone, it should be a quick kill, allowing your team to return and hold the point and win the fight 5v6. So as an attacker, you don't want to flank this way by yourself because you're walking into the enemy spawn. More than likely you're gonna have a fight against more than 2 people, and 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose that fight and just stagger yourself for your team. So as offense, you want to take control of this high ground and start shooting into the defense, force them back into the street. And once you force them back into the street after taking control of high ground, it becomes a lot easier for you because now they're the ones that are stuck in a choke. They're stuck in this corridor where it becomes harder to defend because as an offense, you have many more options to flank now that you've pushed through that corner. As you can see from this angle, the offense has a lot of directions that they can come from. It's a 6. That's a 6. So that's 6 different directions your team needs to watch out for. And this just becomes a really hard section to hold once the enemy team is pushing in full force. So as a defender, once you get back here, you want to just bunker down on the point and slowly make your way back out towards where you can hold this corner again. Because trying to hold back here, it's just going to be a nightmare for you, because as you get killed, the offense on the sides will have shots into your spawns, killing those people that are respawning, making it really difficult to defend. So that pretty much sums up the map. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments which map you would like me to do next. Any suggestions as to the colors or the commentary or the suggestions, let me know. Catch you next time, and thank you so much for watching.